Good morning, and today we're in chapter 2, and I think we'll do chapter 3 as well, which means that we have to get through a lot. Oops, I'm not that fast. So we're going to get right into it. So people are starting to forget. Even just a year or two after the sign was given, people start forgetting. And we'll have some timestamps here. And it came to pass that thus passed away the 95th year, and the people began to forget the signs. The gray, again, I'm putting in gray, those things that are drawing them away from God. And it's interesting that it kind of scares me a little bit more than a lot of the other things that seem so different. These things seem to be things that can happen easily to members of the church. They began to forget those signs and wonders which they had heard. And they began to be less and less astonished at a sign or a wonder from heaven, insomuch that they began to be hard in their hearts and blind in their minds, and began to disbelieve all which they had heard and seen. Isn't that scary to think that when we've had a blessing and it was fulfilled, or our patriarchal blessings, and we don't give them heed, or we don't go to the temple and fill of the spirit that's there and get the blessings that the prophet has said in conference this last time. If we don't, and we get less astonished at things like temple building. We've never seen such an amazing amount of temples being built in the history of the world, and yet we are sometimes lackadaisical about, oh yeah, there goes another one, build up. We can't let that happen. These are miracles, and these are amazing times that we should be doing many wonderful things. But we've also seen people imagining up some vain thing in their hearts, that it was wrought by men and by the power of the devil to lead away and deceive the hearts of the people. And thus did Satan get possession of the hearts of the people again, insomuch that he did blind their eyes and lead them away to believe that the doctrine of Christ was foolish and a vain thing. That is so true, and I'm seeing it. Especially think about what they do in shows and movies. Do you ever see, very often anyway, I should say, a believing, church-going person as the lead person? And how many places do you see that the people who are supposed to be a faith or a religious person is actually the villain or something like that, and that they're misled and all this other stuff? There's a lot of it nowadays, and don't say, oh no, yeah, it's just this or that. It's there. People are thinking that the doctrine of Christ is a foolish and vain thing. Any religion is a foolish and vain thing, but especially the doctrine of Christ. You look at it and you'll see it. But it's not foolish and vain. And it came to pass that the people began to wax strong in wickedness and abominations. And they did not believe that there should be any more signs or wonders given, and Satan did go about leading away the hearts of the people, tempting them, and causing them that they should do great wickedness in the land. Thus passed away the 90 and 6th year, and the 90 and 7th year, and the 90 and 8th year, and the 90 and 9th year, and also 100 years had passed away since the days of Mosiah, who was king over the people of Nephites. And now we're getting this timestamp. And 609 years had passed away since Lehi had left Jerusalem, and 9 years had passed away from the time when the sign was given, which was spoken of by the prophets, that Christ should come into the world. Now the Nephites began to reckon their time from this period when the sign was given, or from the coming of Christ. Therefore 9 years had passed away, and Nephi, who was the father of Nephi, who had charge of the records, did not return to the land of Zarahemla, and could nowhere be found in all the land. That's because of what I said yesterday. I can't say it's because of that, but I'd like to think that anyway. And it came to pass that the people did still remain in wickedness, notwithstanding the much preaching and prophesying which was sent among them. And thus passed away the 10th year, and the 11th year passed away in iniquity. Think about 10 or 11 years ago, what was happening. Remember, at least here in England, we had Brexit that was being debated. We had not had Thomas S. Monson was the prophet. So that was before Elder Nelson, or President Nelson, sorry, and we hadn't had or even thought about having a pandemic. So think about all the things that have happened and how easily we can forget about the things years later. And it came to pass that the 13th year there began to be wars and contentions throughout all the land. For the Gadianton robbers, we can't get rid of them, and it's even worse now than before, had become so numerous, and they did slay many people, and did lay waste to so many cities, and did spread much death and carnage throughout the land, that it became expedient that all the people, both the Nephites and Lamanites, should take up arms against them. So now they're different now. They're more like the Gadianton raiders, because they're not just robbing, they're going in and raiding and laying waste to cities. They're not sneaking in and trying to blend in. They're literally saying, hey, we're taking over. And they're doing it in not the type of battle situation. They're coming in, destroying places, and going out. Therefore the Lamanites who had become converted unto the Lord did unite with their brethren, the Nephites, and were compelled for the safety of their lives and their women and their children to take up arms against those Gadianton robbers, yea, and also to maintain their rights and their privileges of their church and their worship and their freedom and their liberty. And it came to pass that before this 13th year had passed away, the Nephites were threatened with utter destruction because of this war, which had become exceedingly sore. And it came to pass that those Lamanites who united with the Nephites were numbered among the Nephites. So not everybody of the Lamanites, just the most righteous ones did. And their curse was taken from them, and their skin was white like unto the Nephites. Now, again, I'm not going to debate this right here, but could it be one thing that they mentioned might be the case, that they had certain tattoos that darken their skin, which is common among other cultures as well nowadays, or whatever. Maybe they're wearing clothes now because remember, they usually just wore a loincloth or something like that, and so their skin would have been darker than somebody that is a farmer and wears close. Anyway, we don't know. They're young men, and because think of the people of Ammon and other Lamanites. They hadn't had this thing, this change in skin, like unto them. And their young men and their daughters became exceeded. And remember, the curse was from not hearing the word of God. And now they're just part of the people. They're saying, oh, we don't know who's a Lamanite or a Nephite anymore because we don't care. They're all part of the same people. And their young men and their daughters became exceedingly fair, and were numbered among the Nephites, and were called Nephites. And thus ended the 13th year of the 13th year. And it came to pass at the commencement of the 14th year, the war between the robbers and the people of Nephi did continue, and did become exceedingly sore. Nevertheless, the people of Nephi did gain some advantage of the robbers, that they did drive them back out of the lands into the mountains and their secret places. And thus ended the 14th year. And in the 15th year they did come forth against the people of Nephi, and because of the wickedness of the people of Nephi there was many contentions and dissensions. And the Gadianton robbers did gain many advantages over them. And thus ended the 15th year. And thus were the people in the state of many afflictions, and the sword of destruction did hang over them, insomuch that they were about to be smitten down by it, and because of their iniquity. I can't help but keep going on. I hope we can go through it, because there's a lot more. And now it came to pass that in the 16th year of the coming of Christ, Lyconius, the governor of the land, remember I said we'd get back to Lyconius, received an epistle from the leader and governor of the band of robbers. And these are the words which were written, saying, and look at, I just like studying this a little bit because of the rhetoric this guy uses. And we've put in gray many of the things that he seems to build up. He's quite the politician. Lyconius, most noble chief and governor of the land, behold, I write this epistle unto you, and I do give unto you exceeding great praise because of your firmness, and also the firmness of your people, in maintaining that which ye suppose to be your right and liberty. Yea, ye do stand well, as if ye were supported by the hand of God, in the defense of your liberty and your property and your country. Oh, that reminds us of the title of liberty, doesn't it? Or that which ye which ye do call so. Remember, he's always throwing it back as if there's a reason to doubt these things. And it seemeth a pity unto me, most noble Lyconius, that ye should be so foolish and vain as to suppose that ye can stand against so many brave men who are at my command, who do now at this time stand in their arms, and do wait with great anxiety for the word to go down upon the Nephites and destroy them. And I know of their unconquerable spirit, having proved them in the field of battle, and knowing their everlasting hatred towards you because of the many wrongs which ye have done unto them. Therefore, if they should come down against you, they would visit you with utter destruction. If they have everlasting hatred, I think the next part after this, it doesn't make sense. But he still says it. Therefore I have written this epistle, sealing it with mine own hand, feeling for your welfare. Look how he's kind of twisting it. Feeling for your welfare because of your firmness in that which ye believe to be right. Making it sound like, yeah, you do you, but we'll kill you anyway. But he's using the you do you thing that we hear a lot of nowadays. Oh, whatever you believe, as if it's lesser, and your noble spirit in the field of battle. Therefore I write unto you, desiring that ye should yield up unto my people your cities, your lands, your possessions, rather than they should visit you with the sword, and that destruction um, um, should come up, and that destruction should come upon you. Or in other words, yield yourselves up unto us, and unite with us, and become acquainted with our secret works, and become our brethren, that ye may be like unto us, not our slaves, but our brethren, and partners of all our substance. Oh, isn't he magnanimous? Give up all of your lands and everything, and we'll be brothers, yeah. Not our slaves. No. We're not thinking about that, even though I just said that we were going to destroy you because we have an everlasting hatred. Behold, I swear unto you, if ye will do this with an oath, ye shall not be destroyed. But if ye will not do this, I will swear unto you with an oath that on the morrow month I will command my armies shall come down against you, and they shall not stay their hand, and shall spare not, but shall slay you, and shall fall by the sword, let fall the sword upon you, even until ye become extinct. And behold, I am Gideon-hi, and I am the governor of the secret society of Gadianton, which society and works thereof I know to be good. And why does he know that they're good? And they are of ancient date, and they have been handed down unto us. How can he justify that? Yet they do. Think about things that people think are good because they've been around a long time or whatever. This isn't right. This isn't how we test whether something's good. And I write this epistle unto you, Lyconius, and I hope that you will deliver up your hands. Notice how he puts himself almost as a savior figure to the people. I'm doing this for your concern. I'm concerned about you. Deliver up your lands and your possessions without the shedding of blood, that this my people may recover their rights and government, who have descended away from you because of your wickedness, and in retaining from them their rights of government. Except ye do this, I will avenge their wrongs. I am Gideon-hi. Now it came to pass when Lyconius received this epistle, he was exceedingly astonished. I would be astonished as well, because of the boldness of Gideon-hi, demanding the possessions of the lands of the Nephites, and also threatening the people and avenging wrongs of those who received no wrong, save it were they wronged themselves by dissenting away unto the wicked and abominable robbers. Now behold, this Lyconius, the governor, was a just man, and could not be frightened by the demands and threatenings of a robber. I like how he says that, a robber, like he's just nothing really, but therefore he did not hearken unto the epistle of Gideon-hi, the governor of the robbers, but he did cause that his people should cry unto the Lord for strength against the time that the robbers should come down against them. Yea, he sent a proclamation among all the people, that they should gather together their women and their children, their flocks and their herds, and all their substance, save it were their land, unto one place. And he caused that fortifications should be built around them, and the strength thereof should be exceedingly great. And he caused the armies of both the Nephites and Lamanites, or all of them who were numbered among the Nephites, should be placed as guards around about, to watch them and to guard them from the robbers day and night. Yea, he said unto them, As the Lord liveth, except ye repent of all your iniquities, and cry unto the Lord, ye will no wise be delivered out of the hands of of those Gadianton robbers, and so great and marvelous were the words of and prophecies of Lyconius. He's a really great man. That they did cause fear to come upon all the people, and they did exert themselves in their might to do according to the words of Lyconius. And it came to pass that Lyconius did appoint chief captains over all the armies of the Nephites to command them at the time that the robbers should come down in the wilderness against them. Now the chiefest among all the chief captains of the great commander of the armies of the Nephites was appointed, and his name was Gideoni. And it was custom among the Nephites to appoint for their chief captains, save it were in times of wickedness, someone who had the spirit of revelation and also prophecy. Therefore Gideoni was a great prophet among them, and also was the chief judge. So we have two great prophets. These two we don't hear sometimes enough of, because we're seeing what the people are doing. And now the people said unto Gideon, pray unto the Lord, and let us go up into the mountains in the wilderness, and we will fall upon the robbers and destroy them in their own lands. But Gideoni said unto them, Gideoni is not the one that's the righteous person. Gideoni is. Gets a little bit confusing, but remember that. And saith unto them, the Lord forbid, for if we should go up against them, the Lord would deliver us into their hands. Therefore we will prepare ourselves in the center of our lands, and we will gather all our armies together, and we will not go against them, but we will wait until they shall come against us. Therefore, as the Lord liveth, we will do this. If we do this, he will deliver them into our hands. I'm going to leave it there. I know it seems like we're almost at the end of the chapter, but I think if we do that, we will find a good break in this. And I think it's a good one to end on, because here we got a promise. Let's see if the promise is fulfilled, and see where this leads. I hope you have a really good day, and I hope you appoint men to be your leaders that are prophetic. And I can think of one man that I would follow, and that is President Nelson. So I think let's look to our leaders that and appoint leaders that are righteous. And I hope you have a nice day, and we'll see you tomorrow.